Hey, 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 happy Thursday. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Daily Dope is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Yes, I'm Jeff McAleer, back once again as your host here at The Daily Dope, presented by thegaminggang.com, which I happen to be the Grand Poobah. So I am the founder and editor-in-chief of The Gaming Gang. So welcome aboard. Tonight is Thursday, July 9th, 2020. This is episode 511 of The Daily Dope. If this is your first time joining me, let me point out that this is a very, very casual show. Just talking about gaming news. It's certainly not rocket surgery by any stretch of the imagination. And we just kind of hang out, have a good time. Usually have some folks popping into chat as well. Do want to mention to you, if you do like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't yet. And if you do subscribe, be sure to ring the little notification bell because it will not only let you know when the Daily Dope streams live right here on YouTube Monday through Thursday nights, it'll also tell you when I upload my other videos, such as my first look at the Pathfinder Arcane Spell cards, which I put out earlier this morning. So you've got that. And of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, comics, movies, TV. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Because this is a live stream, that also means that there is chat available. It's not on screen. It's one of the ways that I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay. But I do my best to pay attention to chat. So if you want to say howdy, or maybe you've got a question or a comment, by all means, please fire away. I will respond. So far tonight, we've got John Vogel, Kabuki Kid, yes, Double K is in the house, as well as Dan from No Enemies Here. So we are off and running. Got to point out, looks like we're getting some of that goofiness with the stream again tonight. I don't know. Funny thing is, I just ran a speed test before I went live, about 5 minutes before I went live. Everything was perfect. So it looks like we may have steadied out. I don't know. It's very strange. Very strange. I don't know. It's almost as if I need to start streaming and then just do nothing for like 10 minutes, like a lot of streamers do, and take it from there. You know what? I'm wondering. Let's take a look here. Remember I changed up my mic last time and then we had a much better experience. Let's see what's going on here. I'm going to try that. I'm going to see if that might be, because it seems like yesterday, as soon as I did that, everything was fine. So I don't know. Maybe OBS Studio doesn't like me utilizing other, software to try to render the audio a little bit. I don't know. We'll find out. Okay, so I got rid of those. See what's going on. A Gray Day has popped into chat as well. Good deal. So I got a good amount of news for us tonight. Once I finish up the news, I do want to kind of toss out something. I've seen a lot of people lately online are talking about how, damn Wizards of the Coast. And, no company is perfect, right? But there's this kind of meme going around that people would like to replace Dungeons & Dragons as the role-playing game. And I'm going to share some thoughts about that and tell you right up front, any company who's looking to knock them off, there's one thing And my opinion, above all else, they've got to do to even have a shot at taking the crown. And I will talk about that after the news. A Great A says, yes, today they keep seeing Fire Mike Merles. I have been seeing that for a long time. And I got to be honest, it probably is not a bad idea for Wizards of the Coast to disassociate themselves from him. I don't know. I have met Mike. He was super nice. But once again, yeah, there's things floating around out there. I don't know. I don't know what's a fact. I don't know what's fiction. But Wizards of the Coast did say previously that Mike Merles was not working on Dungeons and Dragons anymore, and he would not be working on Dungeons and Dragons again in the future. And then it turns out, yeah, he's been working on D&D. I don't know. We aren't going to go into all that nastiness. We're just going to talk about what I think any company who wants to try to take that D&D crown away needs to do. But first, let's jump on into the news, because later this year, Plan B Games is planning to release the final chapter in their Century Golem game series. Here's dope on An Endless World. An endless world. No, sorry, that's a whole new world. Okay. Anyway, Century Golem Edition and Endless World brings crystal traders face to face with primordial golems predating human existence. These golems are incredibly powerful and ever eager to assist. Not really how they are historically, but that's okay. As the world continues to unfold itself to players, you'll discover how endless the fun will be. Explore and develop a new region of the world of Carvania in Century Golem and Endless World, the third game of the Golem saga. Players serve as settlers seeking a new life and adventures in an unexplored region. Century Golem and Endless World concludes the trilogy of the hit Century Golem Edition with rules for 4 different games. Yes, you heard that right. 4 different games. If you combine it with the other 2 games, you have rules for 4 new games. I think this is a standalone on its own. It is not that clear. It's not all that clear about what's going on. But I got to admit, I have always heard good things about Century. I've always heard good things about Century Golem. And this is the final game in the series. Century Golem and Endless World is for 2 to 4 players. Age is 8 and up, plays in 30 to 45 minutes, and it's going to carry an MSRP of $39.99 when it arrives in the 4th quarter of this year. Like the artwork. The artwork's very nice. I got to be honest, I don't think I have ever played a Plan B game. Almost positive that I have not. They do have quite a few games out there, though. So, yeah, some people are asking, so what is going on with Mike Merles? Kabuki Kid says, cure my ignorance. Who is Mike Merles? Yes, honestly, Double K, I would recommend just do a quick Google. Mike Merles has been around Wizards of the Coast for a long time. I think he goes back to the 3rd edition, if I remember right. I think Mike Merles was there with Monty Cook. And so, yeah, so now Kabuki Kid's like, oh, I just realized he was instrumental in 5e. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he and Jeremy Crawford, I want to say, are the big names. But we'll get into this in a little bit. Moving right along to our next news piece. Studio71 Games has a new horror mystery game. It's up on Kickstarter. This Kickstarter launched yesterday. I've got the dope on Escape the Night. YouTube star Joey Graceffa, I don't know, I think that's his name. Well, regardless, he's got over 12 million subscribers combined across his channels. He's partnered with Studio71 Games, a Red Arrow Studios company, to help bring to life his vision to expand the Escape the Night universe with an all-new electrifying board game. It's not just a board game, it's electrifying. Inspired by Graceffa's murder mystery YouTube series, the Escape the Night game is a magically haunting adventure set within a 1920s estate where an ancient evil lines the halls. Graceffa's YouTube series has been viewed over 185 million times and ran for 4 seasons, making it the longest running series on YouTube Premium. All 4 of those seasons are now available to watch for free. So let's talk about the game, for crying out loud. Assemble your friends and travel back in time to play a thrilling adventure that is set within an evil house where you confront and battle the wicked that lies within. Players will explore the house room by room, locating the Society Against Evil's markers, fighting formidable monsters, and deciphering clues in order to collect precious relics. Once all markers are cleared, players may claim the artifact, but watch out, as a mysterious man looms the halls, trying to stop you from advancing. Looms the halls? Wouldn't it be looms in the halls? I don't know. Well, sometimes working together, players will also vote at the end of each turn for 2 players to battle one another in a daunting death challenge. I think that kind of jumps out of the theme, doesn't it? So I thought everybody's exploring this house. In the final round, an hourglass will be set for the remaining players to take action as fast as they can in order to collect all the remaining artifacts. As time rushes through the hourglass, as sand through the hourglass. What is it? These are the days of our lives, or such are the days of our lives? I don't know. I didn't watch it. I just remember hearing it every once in a while. Anyway, as time rushes through the hourglass, do you have what it takes to defeat the evil and escape the night? There is a Kickstarter video. It's about 3.5 minutes long. It will give you a better look into exactly what Escape the Night actually is. So kick back and let's give it a watch.
You and your friends have been invited to play a game that takes you back in time to a house of evil. You must all work together to defeat the wicked force before sunrise or be trapped forever. The Society Against Evil has marked the way with their symbol. You must explore the house to locate their markers, and then fight a horrifying monster or solve a diabolical clue. Each victory is rewarded with a relic. Once all markers have been cleared, you may claim the artifact. However, a mysterious man seeks them as well and will try to stop you. At the end of each turn, players must vote on 2 characters to undergo a death challenge. Only one will survive. Time is running out, and on the final turn, all bets are off. Players take actions as fast as they can while sand runs through the hourglass. Once the artifacts are gathered, the remaining characters must go to the ritual symbol in the lobby to defeat the evil and return home. The journey will not be easy. There are many ways to lose, and only one way to win. Do you have what it takes to escape the night?
Well, hi! If you don't know who I am Joey Graceffa, the creator of this board game that you just saw the trailer for, and also the show Escape the Night. Now, I'm very happy that you're here because that shows that you're interested in supporting this project, so let me just kind of give you a little bit of a background of how this came to be. So, me and the director of Escape the Night, Adam Lawson, absolutely love playing board games, and we also obviously love creating Escape the Night, so we decided to marry the 2 together to create the Escape the Night board game. Now, this game gives people the full Escape the Night experience. It's a group of people that go into a house and have to defeat the evil, and they're solving clues, they're fighting monsters, they're voting against each other, and as the game progresses, the group gets smaller and smaller, making it more and more difficult as you go on. I've received so many messages of fans wanting to experience what it's like to be in Escape the Night, and this is that moment. This is how you guys can truly experience what it's like to be in Escape the Night. Now, this game isn't just for the Escape the Night fans. If you've never seen Escape the Night, you have no idea, you will still love this game. It has some really cool, unique mechanics that I personally have never seen in a board game before that makes it very special and a really cool experience because every time you play this game, it is going to be completely different from the last time you played. So I hope you guys are excited about this project. If you want to check out the tiers, they're all down below to the side, wherever it is on this page. So go check them out. We have the standard version, we have the premium version. We have a really cool tier where you can actually become part of the game. We will have an artist make a actual card of you. You'll have to send in an image for the artist to replicate off of, but I think that's really cool. And there's an ultimate tier of getting a life-size version of the artifact. The same artist who created the artifact in the actual episode will create you your very own artifact. So I hope you guys will support me in this project. And yeah, let's see if you have what it takes to escape the night.
Escape the Night is for 1 to 11 players, ages 12 and up, plays in about 90 to 120 minutes. This Kickstarter is right around the 700% funding level already. You can reserve a copy of the standard edition for a $40 pledge, or the Premier Edition for a $65 pledge through August 6th. Expected delivery for Escape the Night is this December. So there's some discussion going on here in chat about wasn't it Joe? Isn't it Joe? Joey, sorry. I don't know any of these YouTube celebrities by any stretch at all. Because I got to be honest, outside of streaming on YouTube and uploading videos to YouTube, sometimes jumping on YouTube to check out like a movie trailer or how to fix something, I don't hang out on YouTube. I really don't. All right, Dan for No Enemies has to rock out. Good to see you again, Dan. I will look forward to having you hanging out in chat next week. Enjoy the weekend up there in Canada, in the Great White North. Anyway, of course, me sharing this news is not me saying, oh, yes, you should really go out here and back this game. I was asked by the fine folks over at Studio71 if I would share this. This could be kind of decent. I don't know. Or it could be a mashup of Betrayal at House on the Hill and Clue and Arkham Horror. I don't know. I honestly don't know. But I did want to share it with you. And I gotta ask, once again, I'm an old guy. What is it with people and it's like some of these like YouTube celebrities, what is it with the whole look like they just rolled out of bed and they haven't showered in a couple of days? What's up with that? I don't understand that. So the Madman is in chat. So the Madman says, what is this? I show up, Dan leaves? Yeah, Dan's actually out of here a little early tonight. Usually Dan gets to hang out until about half past the hour. So, and a grade A says that they're only here because of Jeff. I don't know. I'm only here because of folks who watch. So I guess it's mutual. Yes, Kabuki Kid says, yeah, he had that messy head look. These kids today, yes. These kids today, they need to stay off my lawn. Anyway, let's move on to the next news piece because it's Thursday. That means we have free PC games over at the Epic Games Store. And we've got a trio of free games beginning today. I've got the dope. First off, we've got Killing Floor 2 from Tripwire Interactive. In Killing Floor 2, players descend into continental Europe after it has been overrun by horrific, murderous clones called Zeds that were created by rogue elements of the Horzine Corporation. This is for 6 players co-op, and you can play 12-player versus Zed slaughtering mayhem as well. Next is Lifeless Planet from Stage 2 Studios and Serenity Forge. While seeking life on a distant planet, an astronaut discovers an abandoned Russian town. That sounds pretty bizarre. He suspects his mission is a hoax. I would actually think it's more a hallucination, but that's just me. Until a mysterious young woman saves him from a strange and deadly phenomenon. Lifeless Planet is a third-person action adventure that features an old-school sci-fi story and spectacular environments in the spirit of classic action adventures. Finally, we have The Escapists from Moldy Tooth Studios, not Moldy Tooth, Moldy Tooth Studios, and Team 17 Digital. Risk it all to break out from the toughest prisons in the world. Explore the biggest prisons yet with multiple floors, roofs, vents, and underground tunnels. You'll have to live by the prison rules, attending roll call, doing prison jobs, and following strict routines, all the while secretly engineering your bid for freedom. Your prison escape antics will take you from the frosty Fort Tundra, a train hurtling through the desert, and even to the final frontier. All three of these games are free through the Epic Games Store through July 16th, through the morning, I should say, of July 16th. Dan from No Enemies here is like, oh no, I'm still here. I was called by his beautiful wife, who he only gets to see a few hours a day. Oh, I knew that already. So I said, Dan usually has until about half past the hour. And then it's time to say goodnight, Jeff. Goodnight, chat. And he's off to enjoy the evening with the woman in his life. So I completely understand. Very good. So we got a 3B of freebies this week from Epic Games. I guess they're trying to make up for that weird fiasco with Conan Exiles last week, where that was supposed to be the free game along with, I think it was Hue. And minutes before it was supposed to be available for free, that was it. It was like, not anymore. And it's not on the Epic Games Store either. So I don't know. Out of the three games, The Escapists 2 is the best reviewed. In fact, I want to say that a lot of people really like The Escapists 2. And it's kind of funny because it's almost a little RimWorld-ish, a little prison architect-ish, but you're plotting your escape from this prison. I should say different prisons, because it's a variety of different scenarios that you go through. All right, let's move on to some role-playing game news, because Paizo Inc. has released a player's guide to the next Pathfinder adventure path. And here's the dope on Agents of Edgewatch. I want to keep saying Edgewater because that's an area in Chicago. It's a neighborhood in Chicago that I knew people who lived in. I keep wanting to say Edgewater, but it's Edgewatch. The free Agents of Edgewatch player's guide is now available. Player characters take on the role of rookie watch guards in the magnificent city of Absalom, where anything is possible, including the nefarious workings of dastardly criminals. It's up to the Edgewatch to protect the city, a task made all the more important by this century's Radiant Festival fully underway. From gladiatorial fighters to cosmopolitan druids, I guess I wouldn't think those two things went together. A wide array of adventurers can find a calling as protectors of Absalom's people. This player's guide contains spoiler-free advice to prepare your characters for the challenges and opportunities ahead in Agents of Edgewatch. In addition to advice on how to build your characters so they fit into the ranks of the Edgewatch, this player's guide includes a host of new character backgrounds to represent which city precinct you served in before transferring to Edgewatch. Whether you were a prodigy from the Learned Guard, an ex-acolyte who joined the Grey Cloaks after losing the faith, or a tough-as-nails detective from the Puddles, you'll find your unique skills useful as you guard the newly revitalized Precipice Quarter from dangers both commonplace and out of this world. To help orientate yourself, the back of the player's guide provides details on Absalom, the city at the center of the world, including a map and descriptions of each of these cities' richly varied districts. Got to mention, Smokey's kind of like walking around right at the edge of my peripheral vision. It's like, okay, you gonna hop up here, Smokey? You're gonna hop up on my lap? What's going on? Due to the sensitive nature of role-playing as City Watch members in this adventure path, this player's guide includes new required rules for players, as well as guidance for game masters on how to migrate or eliminate potentially upsetting aspects of the campaign, including running the campaign without role-playing as city guards. This advice is intended to ensure that you have a safe, fun time playing Agents of Edgewatch. I think Paizo might be going a little too far with that, but I understand it. The 14-page PDF is available absolutely free over at Paizo Inc. Very cool. I always like to see a new adventure path coming out for Pathfinder. As I mentioned, I got the final chapter of the Extinction Curse adventure path from Paizo, but I only got the first part to review. So it's like, here's the first part, here's the finale, the other four. So I did reach out to Aaron over at Paizo. He's my contact. And I said, I can't really review this. I mean, if you want, I can do a video and kind of show off, hey, this is how one of these 64-page adventure path books look. This is what you can look for. Don't know. I have no idea. Glenn Darren is in chat. Good to see ya. We haven't seen Glenn in a while. I know Glenn comments on some of the Gaming Gang videos throughout the channel, but we haven't seen Glenn in a while. So very cool. And how did this pop up? Why do I have this other one here? The Free League one. It should have been up there. The heck's going on? All right. So a Grade A says, isn't the adventure path rotation every 6 months or 4? It's usually 6. And the thing is, I would say that this Edgewatch adventure path has probably been in the works for about a year. Because I believe that's about how it usually works, as about a year. So, yes, so at the last minute, we have the defunding the police and everything else going on. So I can see Paizo sitting there and saying, well, this is already at the printers. This is done. We don't have anything to replace it with. I guess we better come up with some rules to maybe say, hey, you can play this without the characters even being part of the City Watch, which they're the City Watch. They're not necessarily police. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea why we don't have the correct. I think it's that one that keeps showing up. Anyway, that's weird. I copied everything over here. I don't know. This has been a weird day today because our fridge crapped out. So we've been messing around with that, my dad especially, throughout the day. But anyway, there we go. Got rid of that little Free League item that kept popping up. All right, so more RPG news because Bundle of Holding has 2 5th edition Shadowrun offerings going on right now. I'm going to give you the dope on the Essentials bundle. Scan this, chummer. We've resurrected our February 2019 Shadowrun 5th edition Essentials bundle featuring PDFs of the 2013 5th edition of Shadowrun, the cyberpunk fantasy tabletop role-playing game from Catalyst Game Labs. This newly expanded revival includes the complete Shadowrun 5e rulebook and all its key rules supplements, everything you need for a campaign of mega corporate espionage and magical battle in the shadows of 2081. If you're new to Shadowrun, start here. If you're new to Shadowrun 5th edition, start here. Then check out the all-new companion offer. It's the Shadowrun 5 Lethal Streets bundle to get your runners into new and deeper trouble with more rules expansions and source books. For just $19.95, you get all 3 titles in this offer's core collection, which carry a retail value of $70, as PDFs, which include the complete Shadowrun 5th edition core rulebook, plus the free 5th edition quick start rules and character conversion guide, the player's guide Run Faster, and the augmentation catalog Chrome Flesh. And if you pay more than this offer's threshold price of $31.24, you'll level up and also get this offer's entire bonus collection with 4 more titles worth an additional $100 the rules expansion for Magic, the Matrix, and Riggers. And for this revival, we've also added the combat expansion Run and Gun, previously presented in our February 2019 Shadowrun 5 Runs and Guns collection. If you bought this Shadowrun Essentials offer last year, you'll get the newly added Run and Gun automatically. You can take advantage of these savings through July 26, and 10% of your payment after gateway fees will be donated to this offer's pandemic-related charity, Direct Relief. So, 5th edition Shadowrun, I always liked the whole premise of Shadowrun. I always thought Shadowrun was pretty cool. Wasn't it originally FASA? Wasn't that who originally released Shadowrun? It's I don't know. 6th edition, the starter set that came out was awful. It was just I didn't even bother doing a review of it. It was that bad. It was just a mess. It was just rushed out the door. But I don't know. I don't know what most people think of Shadowrun. I really don't. Like I said, I've always thought that the setting itself was pretty cool, but it was one of these games that was just like, it was like Magic the Gathering. Every time you turned around back in the day, I shouldn't say Magic the Gathering, I should say Vampire the Masquerade. Wake up, Jeff. Anyway, it was like Vampire, where it's like every time you turn around, there was a new splat book out. And I've said it before, it's like Shadowrun and Vampire were like squeezing every other role-playing game product off the shelves. It was weird. So there's discussion of fridges. There we go. Yes, and no, Kabuki Kid is right on the money. Fridges aren't made to last. Nothing's made to last anymore. So yeah, Glenn Darren says, I miss the old avocado-colored fridges that were built like bank safes. And you could stick magnets to the doors. Yeah, that's for sure. So, yes, and I remember they were like, you put something in that fridge and boom, it was like 20 minutes later, it's like, wow, that is cold. Nowadays, it's kind of like, I put this in last night. I'd have thought it'd be colder by now. So Kabuki Kid says, Shadowrun never sung to me. Never wanted to play Cyberpunk. Oh, I'm sorry. I take that back. Kabuki Kid wanted to play Cyberpunk instead. But a Great A says, like the PC game, but I'll never trust Catalyst. See, that is another issue. That is another problem. I don't know. Catalyst is another one of these game companies. I know I'm going off on a rant, but I'll keep it short. They're a game company that has some excellent IPs, but they just don't know how to run their company. They remind me a little bit of Chaosium in the bad days, but worse. So that's kind of how I see it. Anyway, kind of segueing from that, kind of funny, right? We're talking about, company not run too well. Well, here's a Kickstarter that took forever to get to the public. But I've got the dope on Shotguns and Sorcery, which is available now from Full Moon Enterprises. Welcome to Dragon City, a grim, gritty metropolis ruled over by the Dragon Emperor, with legions of zombies scratching at the city walls by night. Whether in the streets of Goblin Town or the prestigious halls of the Academy of Arcane Apprenticeship, people try to scrape by, make a living, and survive from one day to the next. Hey, just one day at a time. You, however, are looking for something more rival. And in this city, if you don't make your own adventure, another adventure is sure to find you. No matter if you're playing as your favorite, why is this once again not showing the right stuff here tonight? I copied over all this stuff. This is just screwy. I don't know. I think we got it right. It's supposed to show 4 images from this, and it shows the first 3, and then The last one from last night. Same happened with the Paizo. I don't know. Something didn't copy over correctly. Anyway, no matter if you're playing as your favorite character or unraveling their mysteries for the first time, this hardcover 276-page core book, well, it's not hardcover yet, packed with tons of full-color artwork from Jeremy Moeller and friends, includes all the rules for gameplay, allowing you to explore Dragon City and its outskirts as never before. Based on the fantasy noir novels of best-selling author Matt Forbeck and powered by Monty Cook's Cipher system, written by Forbeck with rules by legendary game designer Robert J. Schwalb, Shotguns and Sorcery, the role-playing game, contains everything you need to launch your campaign. Grab a wand, a shotgun, and hold on tight to your flying carpet. It's going to be a bumpy ride. The 276-page PDF of Shotguns and Sorcery is available at Drive-Thru RPG for $29.99. So, I didn't know. Like I said, this is something that took a long time to get to the public. I think, if I remember correctly, I think this Kickstarter launched in around 2014. And I believe the original company that this was tied into like dropped out or went out of business or something. That's why this is from Full Moon Enterprises. They don't have a website. That's why you see Drive-Thru RPG as far as the web address that I'm using here. But this did really well on good old Kickstarter. And it uses the Cipher system, which is Monty Cook. It's written by Matt Forbeck. Robert J. Schwalb, who does Shadow of the Demon Lord, which I got to take a look at one of these days because a lot of people say that's a pretty fun system. But I think it's pretty grimdark. Anyway, he wrote the rules too, so I don't know. Could be kind of cool. Could be very cool. Kind of reminds me a little bit of, and I don't know who out there might remember this comic book, which was also adapted into a role-playing game. I almost want to say it may have been Chaosium that did it. And it was Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. I'm almost positive it's Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, not Dinosaurs and Cadillacs. I think it's Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. That was actually a pretty good comic. Didn't run for a long time, but it was a pretty good comic. So people are mentioning, yeah, you know what? Flaming Heron, I think we did hit a little stutter there with some drop frames. Welcome to chat, by the way, Flaming Heron. So John Bogle was asking the same thing. It's like, is it me or is it Jeff just starting and stopping? Here's the weird thing, though. It looks steady. That's the weird thing. I can just tell because I looked to see how many drop frames there are. So I didn't know. So, but Kabuki Kid's like, no, mine's fine. My internet's fine. I'm seeing it fine. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to try to see what I can figure out over the weekend. Find out what exactly is going on. I mean, it's just very weird because it's just this week this started, really. This, it seems like when we start up the stream, we're getting drop frames and then things kind of even out and then everything's kind of cool. And throughout, we'll get a little bump here and there. But usually we have 0 drop frames, not a single one. So I don't know. I had even thought maybe it was possibly the video card driver, which I just updated, and it's not that either. So, I mean, I've got a pretty decent video card. All right. Anyway, so it was Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. Okay. All right. That's what I thought. There was also an old school arcade game for it. That I did not know. I didn't know there was that. Pretty sweet. Pretty cool. All right. So that is it for the news tonight. So, as I mentioned, I did my first look, my unboxing for the Arcane spell cards for Pathfinder 2nd Edition. And that video is now up, so you can check that out Yep, here we go. Once again, we're dropping some frames again. Don't know. Anyway, I also received yesterday, I got the Pathfinder Game Mastery Guide, so I am going to do my best to get a video out this weekend for it. Also, stay tuned because I will have my review of the Enemy in Shadows Companion, as well as the Call of Cthulhu Keeper rulebook. So you should be seeing all these videos. Maybe not necessarily the Pathfinder one, but I will have some video fun for you this weekend. So stay tuned for that. Anyway, I did mention as I opened up the show that there is some talk out there. It's just, it's people kind of in the Twitterverse. A lot of them are saying, oh, we really need to find a role-playing game to replace Dungeons and Dragons because all the bad things that Wizards of the Coast is doing and has done over the years. And, now they say that they're an ally of gender equality and all these other things. And, they haven't been in the past. And I mean, I can't follow everything, right? I'm not up to date on every possible scandal that's going on. I do believe Eric Lang's Twitter account is still down. So anyway, a grade A is popping out. Good to see you, grade A. Yes, enjoy the weekend yourself as well. So there's all these different companies, and they're all talking about it. Not companies, people out there, and a lot of them are saying, "Oh, we need another game instead of D&D. That we gotta make some other game the role playing game." And I understand that. That's fine. That's cool. It's all right with me. But the thing is, what most people don't understand, and of course, there's other like small independent companies jumping on this whole bandwagon and saying, "Oh, well, you can check out my game. You can check out my role playing game. And we got our role playing game." And it's like, okay, all right. But if anybody wants to knock Wizards of the Coast and Dungeons and Dragons off the perch, if they want to be the new king of the hill, there's one thing in particular they have to do, and that is release content. Because, and I know there's a lot of people who are thinking, oh, well, we can replace D&D with some new game. And the funny thing is, even though, I would hope this is not the case, but I'm sure that there are game companies out there that people don't know of dirty dealings that they've had, or, skeletons in their closets, that be careful who you replace one company with, But they've got to create content, because what I see all the time is I see these really interesting role-playing systems come out, and then there's no adventures at all. Not even in the core book. Nothing. And I see people talk about, oh, well, I really like XYZ game, or hey, this game came out, it's really cool. People should check this out. And then I go and take a look, and they don't have any adventures. And some of these have been out for a few years, and they have no adventures whatsoever. You are never going to see any role-playing game company out there do well, start really making loads of dough, which you don't make loads of dough in the industry anyway, but start making, inroads into major popularity if they don't have adventures. Because the people I know do not have time to sit down and work out a complete adventure. They just don't. Most people I know, they want a published adventure that they can, they can tear it apart however they want, put it back together however they want. They need that framework. They don't have the time to sit down and just, plot out an entire adventure all by themselves. They just can't. That's why published adventures are so popular. It's not because people don't, have the imagination or the wherewithal to actually create their own adventures and campaigns. They don't have the time nowadays. And I completely disagree with people who sit there and they talk about, oh, well, a really good game master, they can sit there and they can pull things just out of nowhere. I don't know about that. That falls into the same kind of category of I've heard people talk about how, like um these like GM-less horror role-playing games where everybody around the table is creating this horror story. Yeah, you might have a good time, but I can guarantee you that story was not scary. No way. A lot of seat of the pants role playing, it just doesn't hold up. When I'm running a role playing game, I want my players to sit there 5 years from now, be like, oh man, do you remember the time that we did this in this game? My best friend Elliot Miller can still regale you with stories of Call of Cthulhu adventures from 30 years ago. It's nuts. And he can't, I say it all the time, he can't tell you what he had for lunch yesterday. So, but that is the big thing that I think anybody who wants to knock off D&D, what have you, or anybody who wants to actually make a big impression in role playing needs to do is they need to release content. I mean, even look at some of the really popular IPs out there that have role playing games. So, for an example, we've got Star Trek. Let's just use Star Trek as an example over with Modifius Entertainment. They've only got a couple of adventure books, and they've released a handful of standalone adventures, kind of like one shots almost. That system is not as popular as it should be. It's Star Trek. Come on. Look at Fantasy Flight Games and Star Wars. Their Star Wars sells, well, it's not going to be theirs any longer. It'll still be Asmodee, but it's not going to be FFG. Sells pretty well, but it does not do gangbusters. The two systems that sell all the time, Dungeons and Dragons and Pathfinder. Those are your two big systems. Pathfinder used to outsell D&D. Pathfinder outsold D&D until 5th edition came along. And now Pathfinder brings up the rear. Wizards of the Coast sells more than Paizo, which I find very interesting because Paizo releases way more content. See, if there's anyone out there who I think could challenge Wizards of the Coast, it's Paizo. It really is. It is Paizo. And the funny thing is, Pathfinder really is just an offshoot of D&D, right? It is still open game license, even with 2nd edition. But anybody who wants to be, the new king, they got to have content. They got to have adventures out there. As my good friend who passed away a few years ago, my good friend Bob, when we were on a dart league, we were on a dart team together. We were in this league. We used to play in pretty big tournaments. He used to always say, if you want to be the man, you got to beat the man. And that's what people have to do. I mean, people can sit there and talk about, oh, well, we need a different game other than D&D. That's great. Make that game and make adventures for it. Because regardless of how interesting and exciting your system is, if you don't follow up with content, that's it. All right, so the Madman says, the thing I see is even a lot of non-gamers know what D&D is, right? But mention another system and they have no idea what it is. Correct. Yeah, I'm right with you on that as well, Madman. Yeah, it's got that built-in, even in the 80s, it had that built-in brand recognition. Because even when there were all these people who were down on Dungeons and Dragons, it became even more popular because people sat there and they thought to themselves, what's this church all pissed off about? I got to check this out. It's like, ooh, forbidden fruit. Kabuki Kid says, flashback to the late 70s when G1, G3, yeah, Against the Giants module sold like hotcakes at Gen Con. Yep. People at TSR were super surprised. That's right, because TSR didn't realize people wanted to buy adventures. They thought, oh, everybody just wants to make their own adventures up. Kabuki Kid says, yep. That the rest is history. Yep, you need adventure modules for casual RPG gamers, says Glenn. So Flaming Heron says 5th edition is one of the easiest systems to run and play. It really is. In fact, I'm going to mention it when I talk about my review for the Keeper rulebook. You can see there's some aspects of 7th edition Call of Cthulhu that have really been inspired by 5th edition D&D. Maybe for the good, maybe for the bad, what have you, but you can tell there is some inspiration from 5e in 7th edition Call of Cthulhu. So Glenn Darren says those storytelling games are okay for like one play into the trade away pile or off to Goodwill after that. So Flaming Heron says, I'd be interested to see how 2nd edition Pathfinder is selling. I heard it's selling pretty good. I hear it's selling, it's doing okay. It's doing all right. It's just, I don't know. See, and it's kind of funny because on one hand, I look at Wizards of the Coast, I don't think they release enough stuff for D&D. I really, really don't. If they could release, like, say, an adventure book every 3 months, I think that would be really good. I think that would work really well. Because I think some of the folks at WotC just don't realize that you still got a lot of people who play D&D more than once a week. And they play 4-hour sessions, 4 or more hour sessions when they do get together. So they can rock through a campaign book in maybe about 3 months. So that is an idea. So one thing that we're talking about, like adventures and that, one thing that I find interesting is how modern role-playing games, and Pathfinder is a great example of this, so is D&D. Back, gosh, for years, for decades even, most of your campaigns that you would play, people wanted to have their characters around for a long time. So, for an example, when I ran Call of Cthulhu a lot, Elliot and Ed and Paul, well, not Paul so much because his characters got killed a lot, but Elliot and Ed, their characters were around for years of real time, not campaign time, real time. Now it's sort of like, okay, well, we got this new adventure. We're going to play it. Everybody's going to create new characters. They play those characters, and then the adventure's over. Everybody's gotten to 20th level or whatever. And it's like, okay, let's start from scratch again. I think part of it is maybe it's just because it's too easy to level up now. I don't know. That, even in like Dungeons and Dragons, it's kind of up to the dungeon master. Well, do you want everybody to be 3rd level now? Okay, everybody's 3rd level. I don't track experience points anymore. It's just boom, you guys are 3rd level. So I don't know. I really don't see anybody knocking D&D off. I just don't. Unless it was Paizo. I think maybe. But once again, just like the Madman pointed out, Dungeons and Dragons has that built-in brand recognition. For good or ill, it has that built-in brand recognition. Pathfinder, Call of Cthulhu, RuneQuest, Traveler, all these other games don't. They don't have that built-in recognition. Call of Cthulhu a little bit because of the Lovecraft mythos, but even then, if you say Call of Cthulhu, people be like, even if they know about Lovecraft, they're thinking, oh, you must be talking about the story, right? Whereas you say Dungeons and Dragons, people are like, oh yeah, that's that game with the dice and stuff where you pretend to be other people. Yeah, I understand what that is. Sure. All right. That is it for tonight's show. Sorry about the up and down and the drop in frames. Looked like we lost about almost 4%. Crap. Anyway, if you like this video, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you do subscribe, ring the notification bell because it will not only tell you when I stream the Daily Dope live Monday through Thursday nights right here on YouTube, it'll tell you when I upload other videos as well I should be doing my interview with Mike Mason, speaking of Call of Cthulhu and Chaosium, tomorrow afternoon. So I will try to get that up there either tomorrow night, maybe Saturday, sometime on Saturday. You'll have stuff to watch. You'll get sick of my mug. You're already sick of my mug anyway. So Kabuki Kid says, yeah, D&D is the 800-pound gorilla. Yeah, it kind of is. All right, those of you who are watching live, hanging out in chat, thank you very much. I always appreciate you keeping me company here in the evenings while I just babble on about games and such. But if you don't have an opportunity to watch live, and maybe you watch after the fact, even on Memorex, I definitely appreciate that as well. So everybody enjoy the rest of your Thursday night / Friday morning. This is my Friday, effectively. No shows on Friday, so I will be back on Monday. So until then, everybody enjoy their Friday as well as their weekend. I'll see you on Monday. And of course, as I like to close out during this time of pandemic, do everything you can, be smart, stay safe. Oh, you're still here. Well, if that's the case, by all means, subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel by clicking right here. And of course, if you want to catch up on past episodes of The Daily Dope, check out this playlist. And if you'd like to see what YouTube's recommending you take a peek at from the channel, just give a click right over here. Of course, I'm Jeff McAleer, and once again, thank you very much for watching.